Which compact crossover do you want to be driving in extreme winter conditions? The 2024 Subaru Crosstrek Wilerness or the 2024 Toyota RAV4 TRD Off-Road? We're going to see which is best right now on Driving Sports TV. Even though this is a winter episode, I'm starting right here at our Peninsula Proving Grounds. Why? Well, because where we're going, it is cold, bitterly cold, with temperatures hovering around 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Because of this, I really want to limit my personal exposure to the elements. So instead, I'm going to introduce both these vehicles here, where it's currently a balmy 32 degrees. I'll then drive each vehicle 2 hours from here to our mountain test course in central Washington, where we have an extreme winter challenge waiting. Along the way, I'll cross Snoqualmie Pass on I-90. This will give me not only a good idea as to each vehicle's capability, but also how comfortable they are for long trips. And keep in mind, both these vehicles, as you see them here, are as you buy them from the dealer lot, including the tires. So that is going to, of course, be a critical part of today's test. With all that covered, let's start off with the 2024 Subaru Crosstrek Wilerness. Under the hood is a 2.5-liter boxer motor. It produces a peak 182 horsepower and 176 pound-feet of torque. The transmission is a continuously variable unit with a revised 411 final drive. Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive is standard. Wheels are 17-inch alloys. Tires, Yokohama Geolanders. These are a mild all-terrain that are 3-peak winter rated. And we're certainly going to find out if that means anything today. Ground clearance is 9.3 inches. Prices you see it here with optional Alpine green paint and Harman Kardon sound system, $35,995 US, including destination. To prepare for this trip, I have loaded up the trunk with an air compressor, shovel, traction boards, and tow straps. That said, let's go ahead and jump in and start this adventure. Of course, in the winter months, getting there is half the adventure. Our main pass here, Snoqualmie on I-90, has been absolutely pummeled with blizzard conditions over the last 2 days. I'm down at the base and about to start the climb, and so far the Subaru's doing pretty good. I mean, we have had some sanding and some plowing on the roads here, but I think they kind of just gave up and let the snow take over. So, barring a jackknife semi or anything like that, I think we'll be fine here. Now, obviously, it is a little bit slippery, even with these tires. These are not winter tires. Big difference between a 3-peak rated all-terrain and an actual proper winter tire. 3-peak rated basically just means that it takes the mud and snow formula and makes them about 10% more effective on snow and ice. That's not a lot. You still will slip quite a bunch if you are on compacted snow and ice, even with the 3-peak rating. I want to make sure that you realize that. These aren't Superman tires. But so far they're doing pretty good. I'm feeling what's going on with the tires here. I have pretty decent traction to keep going forth, but I still have to drive conservatively. I can't think of a better car to be driving in these conditions with. I mean, it's comfortable, it's quiet, it drives really nicely. Symmetrical all-wheel drive is on all the time. It's not waiting for slip and trying to fix the solution. It just gives you a really confident feeling drive, which is kind of the whole point, right? This is why Subarus are so popular in the Northwest and Northeast. Okay, we've made it up and over the pass. Little Subaru did great. Traction was fine. However, once we get off the freeway and start hitting some of those side roads, that'll become a little more difficult, but just wait until we hit our test mountain, because I'm expecting at least a foot of fresh powder. It's a funny thing, when it gets so incredibly cold, it's currently 4 degrees Fahrenheit outside, snow actually becomes a little easier to drive on. So it's always funny when people like from the Dakotas or Nebraska look at what we get here in the Northwest, our Pacific Northwest snow that we normally have, where it's around 32 degrees. So everything's a little bit melty. And they're like, snow, it's easy. You can drive in snow, no problem, just floor it, whatnot. But it's like, yeah, our snow is very treacherous. But this is not our normal snow. This is really cold snow. This is like Midwest snow. So we don't get a lot of opportunity to drive in conditions like this. And I'm actually pretty excited for today, especially if what we have on the mountain is powder, and it should be. It's been snowing for the last 2 days. It has not gotten over 32 degrees, so we shouldn't have had any melt. It should just be at least a foot of pure powder. Fingers crossed. Okay, so getting out to the test hill is way more difficult than I thought. Normally, the access road is plowed, but it is not plowed. I am basically driving straight through over a foot of snow right now, and it's kind of awesome. It definitely gives an indicator as to what we're about to face as we're doing the very similar thing. I'm just kind of suggesting which way to take as we're about to go up a hill in the same condition. And I think I know where the edges of the road are. A lot of snow over the hood. Okay, let's see if we can get in position to start our runs up the test mountain. Normally I would start with the hill climb, but there is so much snow here, I am gonna start with the level surface because this is nuts. I've never been here with this much fresh snow. Well, this just might be as far as I can get in without resorting to X mode. We're at the base of our climb in. This is the main line. I gotta watch out, there's actually boulders lining up this main line. I'm trying to basically create some space here to work so we can get all set up and start our runs up the hill and test out this X mode deep snow and mud setting. Okay, let's do it. But first, I'm gonna get into my snow gear. So here we have it, proper snow. And it is definitely higher than 8.7 inches because this Crosstrek was totally scraping all the way in. Now, what kind of conditions do we have here? Well, first off, it is currently 1 degree out Fahrenheit. That is cold. Snow conditions, very flaky, very soft, compresses, which creates a traction issue. As the vehicle rolls over it, it compresses under the tires and creates a slick situation. So the plan for today is to just simply get up this first climb. Not only is it steep, it's also slightly angled, and we have a ditch on the inside. We hit that ditch, it's game over. If we get up to the first pad, then we'll try the next road, and so on and so forth until we can't go any further. It is currently 1 degree Fahrenheit, so I am not going to stand outside very long. Let's put this X mode deep snow mode to the test. This climb, if I recall correctly, is about a 14 degree angle. It's pretty steep actually. It is one of the less steep hills we have, but it will still pose a significant challenge considering the weather conditions. So I'm going to go ahead and hit drive, and I just want to see how much further I can get without putting X mode on. So I'm moving forward. Oh, okay. Getting a little stuck there. Let's try this again. Let's go back. Man, we are plowing snow. It's probably close to a foot of snow. Yeah, we are just absolutely reaching our limit very quickly here. So, time to turn on X mode deep snow and mud. Now what this will do is allow for extra wheel spin to clear the tires. Now snow is kind of a funny thing. Sometimes you want it to stick to the tires. That's what snow tires do. That gives you additional grip. With an all-terrain, you kind of want to clear the lugs though if it's really deep stuff. So that way you want to spin the velocity a little bit higher, which helps claw through the snow. And then also it's going to reduce the traction control system so that it doesn't stop quite so much. Now it's going to brutally shift power left or right throughout the system, because basically power goes to the back through a clutch pack, and then you have open diffs front and back, and so you need to have that wheel braking to stop power from leaching out of the wheel that's just spinning, doing nothing, because you're not moving forward if you're just spinning a wheel. It'll then put a brake on, which will therefore send the power to the wheel with grip. And it'll do that very quickly left and right, and it'll do it both with the front and the back wheels. That's kind of the benefit of having just a limited slip differential in the back, is that it doesn't give you any benefit in the front. This gives you benefit both in the front and the back, which is especially helpful in conditions like this. So, deep snow and mud, and let's see what X mode does for us. Will it keep the power? Will it keep us moving? Will we get all the way to the top? So I'm keeping, so the problem here is that my wheel spin, it's sending me slightly over 25 and it keeps shutting it off, but then it shuts it back on again. So it's kind of funny. Once I go over 25, X mode stops and I stop, and then it goes under 25 and then I move forward again. So X mode is definitely doing significant stuff here. I just kind of wish that I could spin these tires maybe a little bit more. Now underneath this snow is gravel, but we have to get down through a lot of stuff before we get to that gravel. And it is just, it is doing it. It is doing it. Ah! Okay. I'm gonna take a moment here, kind of reset a little bit, back in the gravel. And let's try to move forward with X mode deep snow and mud with a lower velocity tire spin. I guess we do need more momentum here. So there we go. Keep that X mode going. Man, it keeps wanting to cut off. It's like I need over 25, but I also need X mode. Hey, Subaru, bring a third mode of X mode to this Crosstrek, will ya? We are moving forward, and we're out of X mode at this point because we are spinning the tires at 30 miles an hour, but it is still keeping us moving. Testament to the tires, I guess. Wow. And symmetrical all-wheel drive. This is the slowest climb ever, but it is climbing. It is a challenge. Oh, come on. Okay, I'm actually getting a little bit close to the side of the cliff here that I don't want, and that's just kind of my own line problem. So, reset. I'm gonna try to go to the left a little bit more. Come on, go to the left a little more. There we go. There we go. Are we gonna make it? Come on! I think we're gonna do it. What the heck? Did I mention this road isn't particularly even underneath the snow? We're still moving forward. It's like a snowblower. I am rotating the tires at 30 miles an hour, so it was able to use X mode to get us up to speed, and now just symmetrical all-wheel drive is kicking in. And then whenever the tire is slow, it goes back to deep snow mud, and then we move forward. Very, very slowly, but we are making progress. What the heck? This is the least dramatic climb, or I guess most dramatic, it depends on your perspective, but we are crawling along at, well, my gauge says 30 miles an hour, but I think we're doing probably a quarter mile per hour. It's just spinning through all this snow, but we are getting there. We are making it. Okay, come on. Oh, X mode's kicking in now because it had a little traction issue there. I don't know how much ice is under this snow because we're still moving forward. Somehow, this is still making us progress. Come on. Come on. Okay, we stopped moving. This is probably the steepest spot of this. I'm gonna reverse a little bit, reset. I don't know how much snow we've pushed under our nose at this point. There probably are drifts that are quite a lot of snow. Now we're at 15 miles per hour according to the tires, so we still are in X mode deep snow and mud. I'm trying to keep the speeds under 25 so that we can still use X mode. Went over, but then I'm gonna go under again. Oh, no, I'm keeping it here because this seems to be making progress. Come on! Wow, X mode, just when I think I'm stuck, X mode kicks in and moves me forward. Very slowly, but we're moving forward. Come on. Okay, we've kind of stopped again. So again, reset a little bit. Oh yeah, we must have pushed a lot of snow under there. And forward. I think we're gonna get this, at least this first stage of the hill. I don't know about the next stage. Come on! You got this! I'm at 20 miles an hour, so those wheels are spinning and X mode is doing its thing. Power isn't getting cut, it's keeping us moving forward. All 4 wheels are spinning. Come on. Man, every time I think we've stopped, it gets us another inch. This is amazing. We are so close to the finish. Saw the wheel a little bit. At least this first finish. Come on. Okay, let's reset again. I think we just get too much snow under the nose. And here we go again. Plow. Who needs a snow plow? Oh, we're so close. Let's get it. Come on. Inch by inch by inch, we are getting up over this last rise. Come on. Come on, you got this. Do you got this? Okay, let's get a little bit more speed here again. And there we go. Oh, man. I think we've hit a snowdrift because it is so deep here. Eyesight just cut out. It's fine, don't need that right now. We're rotating, we're getting set up for the next hill climb. I don't know if we can do it though. But man, it gets us there. I mean, I didn't think this was possible. I really didn't. I've driven Subarus in tons of weather conditions. This is surprising to me. This is amazing. Oh boy. Of course, are we going to get stuck? Oh, you know what? I missed my line, that's why. I'm kind of in a little bit of a ditch. This wasn't where I wanted to be. Yeah. Rotate that around a little bit. But it still gets us out. Okay, let's rotate this way this time. Yeah, there we go. I'm just clearing the snow as I go. Woo! Okay, well let's take stock of where we're at because that's amazing. So I am going to go up this hill, and the reason is because the snow is actually deeper here. That is really deep. That's over a foot. So it's definitely going to put this vehicle to the test. Not like I haven't tested it already. Just that extra bit. So we're in X mode, deep snow and mud. And 1 degree Fahrenheit out, putting it in drive. Actually, let's put it into manual mode and just keep it in first. That way, first. I know it's a CVT, but it has virtual gears. And see if that, like, if we can keep the revs in one spot, or at least keep, keep our speed down a little bit. It'll keep us under that 25. I think maybe keeping manual might help with that. Let's do this. Punch it. Oh, yeah. Come on. Oh, and now we're back to inching up the hill. I think I know how this is going to go. You see, this is the issue. It's more than a foot deep here. Not only are we plowing, we're just adding more snow under the vehicle, basically high centering it the further we get in. Right, so let's head back down. Now, of course, X mode, even deep snow mud, does provide hill descent control, which is kind of nice. Although I am so slotted in here, it's like I'm on a slot car, simply because I had created a trench on my way up. But still, this is cool. Let's see if we can clear a roundabout. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo, don't go in the ditch. It is on an incline. This is when we get into trouble, right? There we go. I know there's some boulders over there, so I don't want to hit those. Come on, you got this, you got this, you got this. And that's a cliff. Actually, let's see. Now that I've created these trenches, let's see if I can get up easier now. And this time I'm just going to do normal X mode. I'm going to turn off vehicle dynamics. So basically we're going to spin those wheels, right? Let's see what this does. If anything, we may not make it at all, but we have made it a little easier by creating a trough. Woohoo! I am just plowing my driveway, that's all. Come on, can we do this? Ah, we ran out of steam. It's just bonus anyway. Floor it. Still making some progress here. Make sure we don't shunt into the ditch. Oh, that's a ditch. That's a cliff. That's a ditch. That's a cliff. I can say I definitely don't have as much control right here, and I am keeping my speed pretty high, but we are making it up. Oh, yeah. So I can definitely tell the difference here. Now, first off, the second run was easier. It just was. And that's simply because I had already created a trench. However, the one thing I can tell is that when X mode, basically when we were starting to plow and having significant issues, X mode basically would be above the X mode range. We'd start to slow down, almost stop, and then X mode would kick in and get us moving again. So clearly just going VDC isn't going to be good enough, because it wasn't good enough on my first pass when the snow is very deep. But it is really fun, of course. The Subaru Crosstrek did really well. It was comfortable to drive and extremely capable, but ultimately it did meet its match against that really deep snow. So how much better does the RAV4 TRD Off-Road do? Let's find out. The RAV4 is a carryover from last year. The only thing new this year is an army green paint color like you see here. Under the hood is a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated inline 4-cylinder engine. This produces a peak 203 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque. That is, of course, more than the Crosstrek. It also has a standard 8-speed automatic transmission that's connected to Toyota's dynamic torque vectoring all-wheel drive system. This also includes multi-terrain select with a number of off-road programs, similar to X mode in the Subaru. 18-inch TRD alloy wheels are standard. They are wrapped in a Toyota-specific version of the Falcon Wild Peak Trail tire. Though the retail version of these tires are 3-peak snow rated, this version is not, but it does have a mud and snow designation. Ground clearance is a respectable 8.6 inches. Price as you see it here with the optional weather package, $41,925 US, including destination. Now let's see if this RAV4 TRD Off-Road can handle the extreme winter conditions currently on our mountain test course. Like the Subaru Crosstrek, I'm going to be driving this over I-90 Snoqualmie Pass, which will then take us out to our Central Washington off-road test site. And it is absolutely covered in snow. Now, this is a very different test from the RAV4 versus Forester test that we did last year. And the reason why I wanted to revisit this basic test is, first off, we have an all-new Crosstrek Wilerness. I would love to have done it with a Forester Wilerness, but we don't have a new one of those yet. It's the same one as before. Also, the conditions are very different than what we had last time. Last time it was borderline freezing. There was a lot of ice. There was a lot of slickery surfaces, even some mud. Whereas today it's all about just deep snow and sub-freezing temperatures. So actually it's an interesting thing, when you get sub-freezing, you get better traction than you do in that kind of mid-freezing area. But the extra depth of the snow is going to make this more of a problem. I mean, this has less ground clearance than the Crosstrek Wilerness does. So naturally, it's going to have a little bit more issue getting through the deep stuff. But that said, this does have more power, and it has a just proper 8-speed automatic transmission. Will that prove to be a benefit? We're going to find out. Also, last time the real hero in this vehicle was the snow mode. Is snow mode going to get us through this deep stuff? That's what we're going to find out. On the road, this RAV4 has a very different feel. The Crosstrek definitely feels more car-like. This one is more of a step towards a proper SUV. And it's because you sit more upright, it feels more squared out, and even the cockpit has these big chonky knobs and dials and buttons that just give it a more rugged feel. Now, one of the nice things that I see here over the 2022 RAV4 TRD Off-Road that I last tested is they finally have upgraded the infotainment with the new system. And this is the same system that's shared with Lexus. It provides maps, XM satellite radio, as well as data about the car. It's really a nice setup. My only real complaint is that it doesn't have like a home screen. The home screen is navigation. But one thing I am definitely appreciating in this RAV4 today that the Subaru does not offer in the Wilerness models in the United States, it's the steering wheel warmer. Keeps it nice and toasty, and my fingers, well, they're chilly because it is cold today. So you might be saying, hey, isn't the RAV4 more of a direct competitor with the Forester? Well, yes, you would be right. But the Forester has not been updated to 2024 with a new Wilerness model. It's still rolling the same model as before. And the Crosstrek is newly updated. So I think it's more fair to use the 24 versus 2024, and both of these vehicles are still compact crossovers. The huge advantage with RAV4 is that because it is slightly bigger, slightly boxier, actually way boxier, you can fit more stuff in the back. And that's not what we're testing today. This is really about all-wheel drive and geometry of the vehicles and how well they tackle snowy conditions. So you could use the results that we had with the Crosstrek and apply them to the Forester just as well, because it has the same engine, the same all-wheel drive system, the same X modes. Really, the only major difference is the Forester has a slightly longer wheelbase, but other than that, they're basically the same. So far I've been driving about an hour, and the seats really here aren't too bad. You do have to get them into just the right position because they don't feel as soft as the Subaru. But the thing that kind of bugs me about this vehicle on the freeway is just the suspension is stiff. It's a very stiff setup, and I'm kind of surprised that a vehicle that has TRD on it would have such a street-oriented stiff setup. Every expansion joint I feel, every pothole I feel it, like hard. So I do prefer the Subaru just for general cruising, because you combine all the stuff that I like. In spite of the fact that the Subaru does not have a heated steering wheel, it does have a smoother ride because it's a softer suspension setup and it's a little quieter in the cabin. It's just a more modern feeling vehicle. Now the RAV4, it's not old, but because it's definitely not like 4Runner old, but it is due for an update, and I expect we'll see one in the next couple years. No issues getting over the pass. Weather was clear, roads were clear, made it super easy. I don't think that we would have had an issue anyway. I've driven this in snow and it would have been fine. So now let's head on to our mountain test course and see how this does in deep snow. Before we start the real test, we're going to actually have to get to the start. And that means going through some rather thick snow because we have not plowed the entrance to the course yet. Oh boy. Already I'm going to go ahead and turn on snow mode, which is going to optimize the all-wheel drive system and hopefully get us to the start. Yikes. Okay, keep moving here, keep moving. Keep on moving. I'm just going to try to keep momentum. I can see in the gauge cluster here that power is getting distributed pretty evenly front to back. And then of course this has that twin clutch drive unit in the back to help shift power left and right, plus wheel braking in the front. When I had the Crosstrek up here, it was only 1 degree. Now it's 6. So yeah. Okay, now I'm gonna stop here like I did. Whoa, getting shunted. Whoa, la 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 la. Okay, I'm gonna stop here and get set up for the climb, and then we're gonna see how well this does. Right. Well, I got into the start. That's a good thing. Even though we just had the Crosstrek out here, it's important to verify conditions. So I'm gonna get out and check exactly what the snow is like. Okay, let's check out these weather conditions. Snow is still relatively soft. And yeah, you will note I have changed my jacket because this is a Toyota jacket because I am driving a Toyota. It's only fair, right? So it's still relatively soft. We do have a little icing in the tire track, so that's going to be interesting. And it is still freaking cold out here. Yeah, 6 degrees. Wow. So if you remember just recently in the video here, we brought the Crosstrek from here up there. It plowed the line, it came back down, and we ran it again. The reason why we ran it again is so it would be fair to compare against the RAV4. However, the Crosstrek did not make it all the way to the top. We're going to see if this RAV4 can get us any further. But first, we got to get up. Okay, let's do this. Like the Subaru Crosstrek, this vehicle does use a clutch in the middle to transmit power from the front to the back, and it also uses wheel braking to shift power side to side. However, this one has a clutch unit in the back that'll proactively push power to the individual wheels by using clutches, which is a more advanced setup. Does it give us any advantage here today? I don't know. Of course, we also have less ground clearance here, a little close to an inch less, which means we're probably going to be scraping the belly, but since the Subaru's already plowed this section, it'll probably make it much easier. So we're in drive, going to keep it in snow. Okay, let's give it a try. Now you could say this section is just a litmus test, since we've sent the Subaru up it unplowed and then sent the Subaru up it again plowed. So clearly I'm expecting this to make it up. Now the maximum incline here is at about 10 degrees. 10 degrees is of course steeper than most public roads, though you'll find a driveway or two that is this steep, of course. Oh. We're already slipping. Let's reset. Go drive. Come on, you can figure it out. I see wheel braking, shifting power around. I'm gonna keep speed. Oh, come on. Now it's doing kind of what the Subaru was doing, where it's trying to use its logic to get us through. It's really trying hard. Doing a lot of wheel braking, and we've stopped. Right, well, let's try a different approach. So that's the approach with snow. Let's see if we can get up there with a more aggressive maneuver. Let's try mud and sand. So mud and sand would be similar to Subaru's Type 2 X mode, which allows for additional wheel spin and really helps you brute force your way through things. Sometimes you don't want wheel spin, sometimes you do. This would be the wheel spin approach. Let's reset a little bit here. I'm gonna back up so we're not on the steepest portion. Okay, so right about here. Now let's try it. So if you're saying, well, Ryan, you made it up last time when you tested this in warmer conditions, what's so tough this time? Well, it's just that. It was warmer conditions. Everything is iced. Like, you get through the snow and ice, you're gonna get gravel covered in ice. I mean, this is hard. Okay. Down here. Man, am I gonna get it? Come on. Let me just brood it up. This is what I did with the Subaru, and it worked ultimately. Come on, you gonna do this? Brute strength attack. Ah! Into the soft stuff. Ah, come on. Man, just doesn't want to. Right. Yikes. Come on. Woof. Try that again. Gonna go back to snow mode because that was better on the bottom. I'm just gonna try to maintain a little bit more momentum going up. Let's see if that works. Let's try to get back onto the road here first. Line it back up. Man, this is problematic. Let's see. Okay, now, are we back on the track? Kind of. Okay, let's get a little momentum and see if we can get any further. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Seriously? I'm just making it worse. Okay, drive. I'm in snow mode. Smooth and steady. Well, this is anticlimactic. Okay, let's move forward. We got some momentum here. Wow, it's really brutal in shifting that power. Okay, here we go. Let's get a little momentum for this 10-degree section. But I don't want to have so much momentum as to fly off the side of the hill should I get shunted off the tracks. Come on, just going to keep the throttle in. Keeping the throttle in, keep it moving. Keep it moving. This is the steeper section right here. And I'm in snow mode and it's doing it. I'm using momentum, but it is keeping the tracks going and it's getting us up. All-wheel drive system overheat. Just got the error message. It came and it went, but I still have all-wheel drive, but I am now stuck. All-wheel drive system overheated. Subaru didn't overheat. But I still have all-wheel drive, so that's good. But can I go any further? Come on, come on. You know, if you're on the side of a cliff and a storm's coming and you need to get out of there, do you really have time for your systems to overheat? No, you don't. Let's go back to brute force here, mud and sand. It's not doing anything. So this is one thing that is good about the Subaru Crosstrek Wilerness, is that it does have a tranny cooler added to it, so you don't end up with this kind of an issue where your all-wheel drive system basically overheats. Guess we'll hang around and wait for this thing to cool down and try again. I mean, it's just more of the same. It's softish snow with a little bit of compact ice. Yikes. Let's do this again. I'm gonna put it into snow mode. I'm gonna hit drive and let's try to ease it out. See if the system can logically sort itself out. No, it's just slipping right here. So I'm gonna back up a little bit. So we're not in a rut. Let's see if we can keep going. I'm just going to keep it easy here. I mean, it's not as steep here. I'm not sure why we're having so many issues. That traction, and I see wheel braking is happening on the front wheel. Again, back up a little bit, trying to be really nice to the all-wheel drive system. Let's get solidly in the tracks, and just these tires, man, they just don't have the grip. So far, I've kept the tire pressures stock, and they're currently 33 on all corners. And the reason why we test typically in a stock configuration, my foot is all the way to the floor, by the way, is because that's what most people would actually do. If we have a purpose, like a proper off-roader, like a Jeep or something, yeah, airing down is a natural progression. But with these vehicles, not typically something someone's gonna do, but I'm not against the idea. If we can't get any further than this, I will air down just for the sake of science. Even though I did not air down the Subaru at all. That was at a stock 32 PSI all around. Come on. Come on. Oh, system overheated again. Okay, let's go ahead and air down. At this point, we're clearly not getting up without this system overheating almost immediately. So let's cheat. Okay, it's not really cheating, but it's giving an advantage to this vehicle that we did not give to the Subaru. So these are pretty cool. They're called Stawn tire deflators. They're from an Australian company. You can buy them at different presets. I just bought them at 18, but I can also adjust them if I want to have a different preset. But 18 is pretty safe for a street vehicle with mild all-terrain tires. And then they just stop as soon as they hit their target, in theory, if the target is set right. All of them hit the right target except one. So I'm going to correct this by using my air compressor. You never really want to air down unless you have an air compressor with you, because you need to add pressure before you get back onto the highway. I love this little DeWalt unit. It's not the fastest, but it's so portable, and it uses standard 20-volt lithium-ion batteries. Set the target for 18 PSI, and away it goes. It'll stop when it's done. I'll put a link down below for both these items if you're interested in something like this. And while that's doing its thing, I will add caps back to the other tires. The benefit of airing down is it gives you a bigger footprint on the snow. So basically it gives you extra traction than you would normally have. And if you're rock crawling, it adds more give to the side of the tires and to the middle, so you're less likely to puncture. So at this point, we've aired down to 18 PSI on all corners, give or take. I'm gonna try to see if we can get up this now. So I'm going to back up a little bit to get out of the hole I'm in. And then the reduction in pressure should give us better grip. We'll see if it's enough. So I'm just going to keep crawl speed. I'm in snow mode. Okay, let's not overheat that system again. We're going to try to get a little bit better positioning here. Whoa, try not to go into the ditch though. Ditches are bad. There we go. Can we get all the way up? Just gonna keep my foot in. I'm about half throttle. Yes! Reduction in tire pressure did it. But can we get up this next leg now that we have lower pressures? I have my doubts, but we're gonna give it a try, because why not, right? So what we have here, of course, is where the Crosstrek finished. Started to lift up too much, didn't have enough power to push through, and that's where it ended. Still fluffy. We do have deeper snow here though because of the snow drifts. So definitely had a lot more drifting here. So on the right side, we have about 1.5 feet of snow. Let me demonstrate. There, that's about the bottom. That's a lot of snow. So let's give it a try. Okay, let's see how well this does with reduced pressure. Can we beat where Subaru got with stock pressures? I'm going to try to keep some momentum to get through this blockade, and we're already slipping. Okay, let's rewind a little bit. Let's get into a better position. Not in the ditch. Okay, here we go, level surface, keep some momentum. Whoa! Yeah, not the way I wanted to do it. Oh, well, that was dramatic and weird. It was all over the place. Yikes. The surface here can be deceiving. Whew. Okay, so we broke through a little bit, and then it's just started to like lift its wheels because it's compacting this snow in the middle. I want to do one more stab at it. Full run. Keep as much momentum as possible. And I'm going to do a different approach. Instead of snow mode, we're going to go full cheese ball. Let's do mud and sand. Right, let's do it. Floor it. Try to keep some momentum going into this. Come on, we got this. We got this. We got this. Oh, not quite. Got to be careful of that all-wheel drive system now that I know it can overheat if you really, really push it. How many people will do this? Very few. But you will now know the limit. As soon as I hit the snow, poof. It just, man, I need more power, more clearance, and a more aggressive tire. Punch it. Yeah, we're getting it. Nah, and then we're not. Again, it feels good until we hit that wall of snow, and then we're done. Just needs a lot more plowing. Send it. It is going to eventually smooth out up here. I mean, there's still a lot of snow, but we're eventually going to table out where it gets flat. Yikes. Let's do it. Come on, we're going to do it. We're going to push through this time. Yeah. Come on. It's moving, and the all-wheel drive system overheated again. Right, I see how this story is ending. So I'm going to go ahead and back down because, I mean, multiple overheats. I've already aired down my tires. I think we're going to call this one. So it did take wrangling to get as far as the Subaru got, but it's not a fair comparison because the Subaru, we did not air down the tires. This was kind of like a bonus round, I guess you could say. But, you know, there's definitely something to like with this RAV4. Again, very disappointed with the system overheating. Not what you want to see when things are getting dicey. So for those who say that wasn't terribly fair because the steep climb, for whatever reason, yada, 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 Subaru made it too difficult because the Subaru already went up it. Last time we did this video, people complained we made it too easy because we sent the Subaru up first. Well, we have a little bit of extra road here, which is the same as that road. It just continues on a little bit further. In fact, it's not even as steep. I'm going to go ahead and just try driving up that and just see how well the vehicle does. Yeah, let's do snow mode. Now keep in mind I have lower tire pressures. And it is 7 degrees out now. And let's just see if we can get up this. Okay, let's back up a little bit. Now this snow is just as deep as what we sent the Crosstrek through yesterday. It's under a foot, and this should be fine. You can see basically on that front camera just how much it is under the nose. Can we push it through? I can keep rolling here, but I get a feeling my all-wheel drive system is going to fail. It's going to overheat. Come on, are we going to make progress? Come on, and keep in mind this is with tire pressures reduced, which gives us an advantage. Yeah, we're not making progress here. So I think overall, Subaru is the winner. It's all-wheel drive system, and frankly, the stock tires that it comes with from the factory are better. Out of the box, you can go buy a Subaru, take it to conditions like this, and yeah, you probably don't want to be thrashing on it as much as we did for this video, but you will get through more stuff. This vehicle, yeah, you got to buy it. You're already spending way more money for this vehicle. And then on top of it, you also need to go out and buy some decent tires. For Driving Sports TV, thanks for watching. I'm Ryan Douthit. I hope you enjoyed this video. We try to make them as fair as we can, but these are real world tests. They're not lab tests, so you can only do so much. Please subscribe, post a comment below. What did you think of this test? What do you think of these vehicles? Which one would you pick? Can't wait to see what the answers are.